One. So one thing. So one common thing I see among modern culture in general is being able to separate the art from the artist. Now, take Michael Jackson for example. Even though he heed where he shouldn't, he halved. He heed in the wrong. This is awful. You get what I'm saying. People still enjoy and listen to his music, regardless of the terrible things he's done. Now, regardless if you support that or not, that's a very drastic example. That's a very extreme example to what... Sorry, my mic was on the ground. You have to listen to the camera mic for a second. But yeah, people are able to do that. Now, for mice, it's different. One extremely common thing I see is people connecting their hate for the company to the hate of the product. finalmouse is probably the top in the game right now. They probably have some of the best mice out there. But their company is still awful, and you're allowed to have that opinion that their company sucks, but their products are extremely good. But I also see the same thing, but vice versa a lot. Glorius is an extremely good company. They listen to the community. The GMMK Pro, for example, that was an example of taking feedback, looking at r/mechanical keyboards, just doing all this stuff to create this pro level thing that's targeted at entry consumers, which is really cool. But their mice are awful. I just don't think that the Model O, the Model D, Model O minus, D minus, all that stuff, I just don't think those products are good. Never have I had them, but from what I've seen, they're not too good because of build quality issues, and for $50, you can get so much more nowadays. But I do respect their story a lot, how they started with 3XL mouse pads, how they basically jumpstart the ultralight revolution to where people start just drilling holes into their mice to make them lighter. They basically forced that into the mainstream, which was something that was only exclusive for finalmouse. So I do respect them a lot as a company. But again, their products, I just don't like. Take finalmouse though. They are awful. Like, we really need to fund stem cell research, because the person behind the fucking finalmouse account, dude, he types with 2 fingers at a time and he's like, you know what, this one's a banger, this one will do numbers. This guy's stupid. But their products are undeniably ahead of the game. And they know that. They are playing up this facade so that that's just their marketing. That's just their marketing tactics. And even if you're like aware of their marketing tactics, it's still working on you. Like, even if you're self-aware, like, you have to admit, it's pretty cool how they're able to make you angry, because that's what they're supposed to do. But aside from that, very scummy company. They make promises they can't keep. In terms of their drops and stuff, the amount of reselling going on, it's completely awful. But just the fact that 40 grams, wireless, made out of metal, battery life is amazing. They are so far ahead of the competition, it's insane. Now, maybe we'll see this from other companies, but still, they have, always been ahead of the game. But people connect their hatred for finalmouse and their shitty practices to the quality of the product itself. That's called bias. And you're allowed to be able to like a product, but dislike the company. I just don't get why people have those opinions at all. When a product is good, regardless of everything else, that product is good. But let's also talk about boycott. If you are not getting a finalmouse or whatever company because of their bad practices, that product is still good. Like, you can admit that product is still good, but you don't want to use it. For example, like Pillsbury right now, the croissant bread, whatever, the guy said to go on a boycott for his product. But dude, I love those like pigs in a blanket so much. Those are so good. Those are taste. I love them. The product is really good, but the company, bad practices. That's why you're boycotting it in the first place. And you're still allowed to do that. But you can't run away from the fact that the product is still good. There's a reason why there's a boycott in the first place, because demand for that product is so high. There's some practices behind that. But the fact that the demand is so high in the first place means that product has some kind of merit. Now, at the end of the day, your opinion is your opinion. If you think the finalmouse is bad, that's fine. But you can't say it's bad because the company is bad. Same with the Model O. I don't know why so many people like that mouse, even though you can get so much better. This entire thing is really opinionated. All of our hands are really different. Not one mouse is meant for every single person, which makes sense. But still, we need to find a way to remove some of that bias, because I have that bias too. Like, sometimes I would rate Glorious mice higher in the past because of what they did as a company. But if you're like doing a review, I think you should try to separate those two subjects. You can still talk about... Alright, so that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna play Valorant with these 2 mice tonight, so be there. I'm gonna stream on Twitch. Also, if you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Bye.